Are you dreaming of your next European adventure? In this video, we're unveiling the 15 most beautiful places in Europe you won't believe exist. Imagine wandering through the fairy tale streets of cities like Rothenburg and Colmar. Or gazing up at the ancient monasteries perched atop the rock pillars of Meteora. From the dramatic, colorful cliffs of Positano to the timeless, historic beauty of Prague's Old Town Square, we are taking you on a visual journey through the most breathtaking destinations the continent has to offer. Get ready to fuel your wanderlust as we explore these incredible locations. So, sit back, relax, and let's journey together through the 20 most beautiful places in Europe you won't believe exist. Dubrovnik, a magical city on the shores of the Adriatic Sea, with its impressive walled old town and fascinating history. Founded in the 7th century, Dubrovnik grew to become a powerful maritime republic, known as the Republic of Ragusa. Between the 14th and 19th centuries, Dubrovnik was an independent republic, rivaling Venice in trade and navigation. It was one of the first republics to abolish slavery in 1416. In the 1990s, during the dissolution of Yugoslavia, Dubrovnik was attacked and suffered severe damage, but it has been carefully restored and today remains a renowned tourist destination. In 1979, UNESCO declared the old town of Dubrovnik a World Heritage Site. The imposing walls of Dubrovnik, built between the 13th and 16th centuries, completely surround the ancient city. From the top, they offer spectacular views of the Adriatic and a journey through the city's history. The heart of Dubrovnik is the Straten, a paved pedestrian street where some of the most iconic buildings are located. Known as the Gibraltar of Dubrovnik, the Lovrijenac fortress stands on a 121-foot-high cliff. This fortress protected the city from invaders and offers spectacular views. The Cathedral of the Assumption, according to legend, was financed by King Richard the Lionheart after surviving a shipwreck near Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik has been the setting for major film productions, notably as the City of Kings landing in the famous series Game of Thrones. Its markets, gastronomy, and traditions reflect the coastal life of a city that has prospered thanks to maritime trade. Dubrovnik is a destination that captivates with its history, landscapes, and its walls. Some cities have a quiet kind of beauty that makes them unforgettable. Lucerne, in the heart of Switzerland, is one of those. Nestled on the shores of shimmering Lake Lucerne and sheltered by the majestic peaks of the Alps, Lucerne seems to have been designed by harmony itself. Walking through its old town is like stepping into a living painting. Houses with ancient frescoes, sloping roofs, and cobblestone streets that whisper secrets of centuries past. Its history dates back to the Middle Ages, when it became a key point for alpine trade. Yet, what truly captivates about Lucerne isn't just its past, but how it so beautifully preserves it. The water tower stands tall like a stone guardian. Having served as a prison, an archive, and a watchtower, today it stands as a symbol of Lucerne's serene resilience. From here, you can take a boat or a mountain train and simply sit, letting the afternoon drift by with the feeling that nothing else is needed. Lucerne doesn't impress with grandiosity. It does so with its perfect balance between the human and the natural. And when you leave, you do so with a deep sense of peace, as if you've just listened to a soft song you won't ever forget. Let's continue our journey into the heart of Alsace, where the houses look like they're made of sugar and flowers burst from every window. Colmar, a small city that has enchanted painters, writers, and travelers for centuries, welcomes us with its tranquil canals and colorful architecture. Founded in Roman times, Colmar flourished during the Middle Ages as a wine center. Today, its peaceful atmosphere invites leisurely strolls, where you can admire the half-timbered facades and the water reflections in the Little Venice district. As you walk through its cobblestone streets, the air fills with the scent of freshly baked bread and flowers hanging from every window. The half-timbered facades, painted in pastel shades, reflect centuries of tradition and culture. And in winter, Colmar dresses up for Christmas. With lights, the aromas of cinnamon and mulled wine from the markets, and snow falling gently on the rooftops, it becomes one of the most magical destinations in Europe. Colmar is not just a place to see, it's a place to feel. Prague, the city of 100 spires. Located in the heart of Europe, the capital of the Czech Republic is a living testament to centuries of culture, art, and tradition. Prague has a history that dates back over 1,000 years. High above the city, the imposing Prague Castle dominates the skyline. Within its walls lies the majestic St. Vitus Cathedral. The cathedral is a national treasure of the Czech Republic, and it is the final resting place of all the holy bishops and archbishops, along with a significant number of kings. Its spectacular stained glass windows create an atmosphere that marvels visitors and parishioners alike. One of its iconic landmarks is the Charles Bridge. Its statues of saints and the view over the Vltava River make it a magical place for visitors and artists. During the European summer, the bridge is a very crowded spot, sometimes making it difficult to walk and enjoy the beauty of the Vltava River. The heart of Prague beats in its old town square. This square is one of the must-visit places in the city. This is the perfect place to feel the essence of the city. One of its greatest attractions is the astronomical clock. a medieval marvel that has been astonishing onlookers with its parade of figures every hour on the hour since the 15th century. Prague is also a cultural epicenter. Classical music resonates in its concert halls, recalling the legacy of Mozart, who presented some of his most famous compositions here. One of the most intriguing spots in the city is the Franz Kafka sculpture. A kinetic artwork that pays homage to the celebrated Prague writer. Its rotating metal plates are a modern symbol of the city. It's time to say goodbye to Prague and travel to another incredible destination. They say that on the Amalfi Coast, time doesn't run, it glides like a calm boat under the sun. And Positano, a small village clinging to the cliffs of southern Italy, feels more like a sigh than a place. With its pastel-colored houses cascading down toward the Tyrrhenian Sea, Positano looks like a living postcard. From a distance, it appears hand-painted, and as you get closer, you discover that every corner holds a story. The streets are staircases, winding up and down among bougainvillea, balconies with flower pots, and small art workshops. The terraced slopes and small local craft shops offer unique products like handmade sandals, decorative ceramics, and finely crafted textiles. The panoramic views are breathtaking, especially at sunset, when the colors of the sky and the sea merge into an unforgettable spectacle. UNESCO's recognition has been key in positioning Positano as one of the most coveted tourist destinations in the world. There is no rush here. Everything invites you to pause. A fresh lemonade under an umbrella, the aroma of freshly baked bread, and the murmur of the sea that seeps through the alleyways. The Pebble Beach waits peacefully, where colorful boats are moored and tourists mingle with locals in a timeless dance. Positano receives an average of 12,000 visitors daily, a remarkable figure considering its resident population is only 3,860. Some places you visit, while others you feel. Positano falls into the latter category, for here, you don't just see beauty, you breathe peace. Rothenburg ob der Tauber, one of the best preserved medieval towns and one of the most photographed in Germany. Founded in the Middle Ages, Rothenburg has remained almost intact since the 17th century. Its walls and towers surround a historic center that seems frozen in time. Rothenburg was founded in the 12th century and quickly became a prosperous trading town. During the 30 Years' War in the 17th century, it suffered a siege that nearly destroyed it, but its population managed to preserve much of its architectural legacy. The city has maintained its medieval appearance, becoming a historical gem of Germany. The market square, where the majestic town hall stands. Its tower offers impressive panoramic views. The streets of Rothenburg are filled with half-timbered houses, with colorful facades and flowers in the windows. Rothenburg is famous for its Christmas spirit. In December, the Christmas market transforms the city into a true winter wonderland. Rothenburg ob der Tauber is a medieval jewel that enchants every visitor. Its streets, history, and traditions make it a must-see destination when visiting Germany. Lapland, a unique destination. From its snowy forests to the spectacle of the Northern Lights, this region of Finland is home to the last great wilderness in Europe. The Northern Lights, also known as the Aurora Borealis. These fascinating undulations of green, purple, and blue light up the dark skies from autumn to spring, offering an unforgettable spectacle for those who visit the region. Lapland is a haven for wildlife. Here inhabit species adapted to the extreme cold, such as reindeer, fundamental to Lapland's culture, majestic moose, and agile Arctic foxes. For adventure lovers, husky sledding is an essential experience, in the traditional style of Arctic explorers. Lapland is world-renowned as the land of Santa Claus. Deep within the Arctic Circle lies Santa Claus Village in Rovaniemi, a place where Christmas magic is alive all year round. Here, visitors can meet Santa Claus in his office, tour his workshop, and send letters from the famous Santa Claus main post office. A magical place that makes young and old feel the true spirit of Christmas. For travelers, Lapland offers unique experiences. Sleeping in a glass igloo with views of the starry sky, exploring the frozen forests on snowmobiles, or immersing oneself in a Finnish sauna and then cooling off in the snow. Lapland is a destination that awakens the imagination and the adventurous spirit, offering a unique connection with nature and Arctic culture. Lisbon, the vibrant capital of Portugal. A city with a fascinating history, streets full of color, and impressive viewpoints. Lisbon is one of the oldest cities in Europe, with roots dating back to the Phoenicians. Later, the Romans turned it into an important port city, known as Olisipo. For over 400 years, Lisbon was under Muslim rule, leaving its mark on its architecture, culture, and even its language. In 1147, Christians led by King Afonso Henriques reconquered it. In the 15th and 16th centuries, Lisbon became one of the richest cities in the world, thanks to Portuguese explorers like Vasco da Gama, who opened trade routes to Africa, India, and Brazil. St. George's Castle, located atop one of Lisbon's hills, offers spectacular views of the city. Its medieval walls transport us to the time of the Christian reconquest. The Geronimos Monastery, an impressive and majestic monastery in Manueline style, was built in the 16th century to celebrate the success of Portuguese explorations. The remains of Vasco da Gama rest here. The Belém Tower, another of Lisbon's many iconic monuments. This fortified tower protected the entrance to the port and is a symbol of Portugal's maritime past. Colmar Square, Praça do Comércio, a huge and elegant space by the Tagus River, where the royal palace was once located. Today, it is a perfect place to enjoy the architecture and the view of the river. The Santa Justa Lift, a wrought iron elevator from the early 20th century that connects Baixa with the Barrow Alto. From the top, the city views are impressive. The iconic yellow tram, known as Tram 28, travels through Lisbon's most historic neighborhoods, including Alfama and Graça. It is one of the best ways to explore the city. Lisbon is also modern. The Park of Nations, Parque das Nações, an area of Lisbon with futuristic architecture, where the oceanarium and the cable car offer some of the best panoramic views of the river. The 25 de Abril Bridge, a red suspension bridge similar to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, is one of Lisbon's symbols and connects the city with the Almada region. The 25 de Abril Bridge resembles the Golden Gate because it was built by the same company that designed the San Francisco Bridge. Did you know that Lisbon is older than Rome? Founded over 3,000 years ago, Lisbon is one of the oldest capitals in Europe, even older than Rome and London. Like Rome, Lisbon is built on 7 hills, which gives it its characteristic landscape with spectacular viewpoints. Lisbon is a city full of history, beauty, and tradition. From its maritime past to its vibrant modern life, it is a destination that enchants anyone who visits it. Florence, the jewel of Tuscany, is a city that breathes art, history, and culture in every corner. The birthplace of the Renaissance and home to great geniuses such as Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, its streets and squares transport us to an era of splendor and creativity. From its rise in the Middle Ages to its crucial role in the Renaissance, Florence has been a center of artistic and cultural innovation. The Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, with its imposing dome designed by Brunelleschi, is a symbol of the city's grandeur. The Ponte Vecchio, the oldest bridge in Florence, has witnessed trade and life throughout the centuries. While the Piazza della Signoria, with the majestic Palazzo Vecchio, has been the epicenter of Florentine power and politics. Florence is an open-air museum. In the Uffizi Gallery, we find some of the most iconic works of the Renaissance, such as Botticelli's The Birth of Venus. Michelangelo's David, located in the Accademia Gallery, is one of the most admired sculptures in the world. Having a coffee in Piazza del Duomo and observing the comings and goings of people is one of the best ways to immerse yourself in Florentine life. Florentine cuisine is a delight for the senses. The bistecca alla fiorentina, a thick and juicy T-bone steak, is a must-try dish. Artisanal gelato, considered the best in Italy, also stands out. Florence is a place where art, history, and a passion for beauty intertwine in every street and square. A city that continues to inspire those who visit it, just as it did with the great masters of the Renaissance. Meteora, one of the most astonishing places in Greece and perhaps on the entire planet. Meteora means suspended in the air, a perfect name for these colossal rock formations that rise up to 1970 feet above the Thessalian Valley. In the 9th century, the first hermit monks arrived in Meteora, seeking solitude and protection in the caves and crevices of the mountains. During the 14th century, at the height of the Ottoman occupation, the monks began to build monasteries on the summits of the rocks to isolate and protect themselves. The monks used rope ladders and pulleys to hoist supplies and keep themselves safe. In the 20th century, many monasteries were abandoned, but with restoration and the construction of roads and staircases, Meteora became an important tourist and spiritual destination, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Great Meteoron Monastery, or Monastery of the Transfiguration, is the largest and oldest of all the monasteries in Meteora. The Varlam Monastery, famous for the story of how it took the monks over 20 years to haul the construction materials up. The Lucerne Monastery, located on a lower rock, boasts beautiful gardens and a community of nuns who still live there. The Monastery of St. Nicholas Anapauzes, where we can see the pulley system in operation. The Monastery of the Holy Trinity, one of the most difficult to reach, is famous for appearing in a James Bond film. And finally, the Monastery of St. Stephen, the most accessible, connected by a stone bridge. Meteora is a unique place in the world, where history, faith, and nature come together. There are places where words simply fall short to describe them. This is one such case. We arrived at the Plitvice Lakes National Park, Croatia. The Plitvice Lakes National Park is a place of unparalleled beauty and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Plitvice Lakes were formed over thousands of years by the action of water on limestone rock, creating natural dams that have given rise to 16 interconnected lakes. This geological process is constantly changing, shaping the landscape in a natural and unique way. In 1949, Plitvice was declared a national park, becoming the oldest and one of the most impressive in Croatia. Today, it is a sanctuary of biodiversity and a must-see destination for nature lovers. The park is divided into two sections, the upper lakes and the lower lakes. Each one has its own unique charm and mystery. The water varies in color depending on the light, minerals, and vegetation, creating an impressive visual spectacle. One of the biggest attractions of Plitvice is its breathtaking waterfalls. The Great Waterfall, at 256 feet high, is the tallest in Croatia. Along the wooden trails, visitors can admire waterfalls of all sizes, each with its own distinct charm. Plitvice is a vibrant ecosystem, home to a wide variety of species. Its dense forests are home to brown bears, wolves, deer, and over 150 species of birds. In spring and summer, wildflowers flood the landscape with vibrant colors, while in autumn the trees turn shades of gold and red. Exploring Plitvice is an unforgettable experience. There are several trails and wooden walkways that allow you to explore the park comfortably and safely. You can also take boat rides on the lakes or tour the park by electric boat, offering different perspectives of this natural paradise. The Plitvice Lakes are a natural treasure that leaves you speechless. Welcome to Zaanse Schans, a magical corner of the Netherlands where history comes to life. Here, among centuries-old windmills, traditional wooden houses, and idyllic landscapes, it is possible to travel to the past and experience the authentic Dutch essence. In the 17th century, Zaanse Schans was one of the first industrial regions in Europe, with hundreds of windmills in operation. These windmills were used to saw wood, grind spices, manufacture paint, and produce oil. Today, some of these impressive windmills are still active and can be visited to learn about their fascinating operation. The windmills are the soul of Zaanse Schans. De Cat is one of the few working paint mills in the world, where pigments are still produced artisanally. On the other hand, Het Jonge Shop is a wood sawmill that continues to operate with traditional techniques, allowing visitors to see how the power of the wind drives production. In Zaanse Schans, Dutch traditions are more alive than ever. In the Clog Factory, or klumpen in Dutch, artisans show how these iconic wooden shoes are made, which are still used in rural areas today. The landscape of Zaanse Schans is a living postcard of the Netherlands. Its canals reflect the beauty of the windmills and green houses, while the fields are full of life with waterfowl and pastures that recall the rural essence of the region. Visitors can explore the area on foot or by bicycle, following its picturesque paths and discovering corners full of history. Zaanse Schans is much more than a tourist destination. It is a journey back in time to the Holland of the 17th century, where tradition and history are kept alive. A perfect place to disconnect and marvel at the ingenuity and beauty of the past. Alberobello is a small town in southern Italy famous for its iconic white stone houses with conical roofs, known as trulli. The trulli are unique constructions dating back to the 14th century, with an origin linked to an ingenious trick. Peasants built them without using cement, allowing them to be easily dismantled during tax inspections and thus avoid paying taxes to the Kingdom of Naples. For centuries, Alberobello was just a group of scattered houses. But in 1797, the town was granted its administrative independence, a turning point that marked its significant growth and development. In 1996, UNESCO declared Alberobello a World Heritage Site for its architectural and cultural value. Many trulli have symbols painted on their stone roofs, which can represent either religious or pagan beliefs. The old town of Alberobello is completely pedestrianized. Despite their ancient appearance, many of these houses have been adapted with modern comforts. Alberobello is a magical destination, where history, architecture, and tradition merge to create a truly enchanting setting. Sintra, one of the most enchanting towns in Portugal, with majestic castles and palaces, and forests full of mystery. In Celtic times, Sintra was considered a sacred site. Later, the Romans called it Moon Mountain, due to its mystical atmosphere. During the Arab occupation between the 8th and 12th centuries, Sintra became a strategic fortress. Kings and nobles built palaces and mansions amidst its lush landscape. In 1995, UNESCO declared Sintra a World Heritage Cultural Landscape, highlighting its unique combination of nature and architecture. Peina Palace, one of the most impressive palaces in Europe, with its vibrant colored architecture and its mix of Romantic, Gothic, and Islamic styles. The Moorish Castle, a medieval fortress built in the 9th century by the Muslims, offering spectacular views of the entire region. Quinta de Regalera, one of the most mysterious places in Sintra. Its garden is full of tunnels, towers, and the famous initiation well. The National Palace of Sintra, with its iconic white chimneys, was the residence of the Portuguese royalty for centuries. The Convent of the Capuchos, a 16th century Franciscan monastery, hidden in the forest and built with a deep connection to nature. Cabo de Roca, located within the Sintra Cascais Natural Park. It is a rocky promontory that rises 460 feet above the Atlantic Ocean, with breathtaking cliffs. Montserrat Palace, an exotic palace with Arab, Gothic, and Indian influences, surrounded by a beautiful botanical garden. Sintra, a place full of castles, secret gardens, and corners straight out of another era. Toledo is a city that seems frozen in time, with its city walls, cobblestone alleyways, and monuments that tell tales of centuries of history. During the Middle Ages, it was a symbol of coexistence between Christians, Muslims, and Jews, leaving behind an unparalleled cultural legacy. The Alcazar of Toledo, an imposing fortress, has witnessed battles and transformations throughout the centuries. The Toledo Cathedral, or Primate Cathedral, is one of the most impressive in Spain and a treasure of religious art. Built between the 13th and 15th centuries, this majestic Gothic cathedral stands out for its imposing facade and its 302-foot-high tower. The main altarpiece, a 15th-century masterpiece, dazzles with its gilded details and precisely carved biblical scenes. Light streams through a spectacular sculptural ensemble, creating a unique celestial effect found nowhere else in the world. The Plaza de Zocodover, the heart of the city, has been the site of markets, celebrations, and gatherings throughout the centuries. The San Martin Bridge offers breathtaking views of the Tagus River. Getting lost in the narrow streets of the historic center allows you to discover artisan sword shops, hidden courtyards, and corners full of history. Toledo, a must-see destination for lovers of history, art, and culture.